Well, it's killed 14 people in the last 5 years and badly injured dozens more. But tombstoning is still claiming new victims. Jumping into water from high cliffs might seem like madness, but a Northumberland company says it can be done safely as part of an organised group. They call it Coasteering. But what message does this send out? Does it encourage people to leap into the unknown whenever they feel like it? Damien Oneil joined the Coasteering group for tonight's Look North report.
A glorious day on the beautiful Northumberland coastline, and another group of thrill seekers have paid for a morning of jumping into the sea. But you won't hear anyone talking about tombstoning.
We bring people down and introduce them at close quarters to the coastline. They have a look and see what's on the shoreline, what's in the rock pools and what's in the sea. We teach them to a little bit about water safety, a little bit about geology and history of the area.
It starts with small steps. This is the North Sea, not the Med. Now, I've got that cold shock, yeah?
Yep.
I'm thinking about these people that go tombstoning. Apart from anything else, if you jump in and you get this, I mean, you're in trouble already, whether or not you hit anything.
Absolutely, it's that cold water shock that you get with sudden, it takes your breath away, it stops your muscles, you're unable to swim and you're stunned momentarily in the water.
Yeah, that's quite a shock, that.
Yeah.
Eye-opener. The jumpers then move to progressively higher platforms. They're all clear on one thing, that they'd never do this on their own.
No, I wouldn't dare. I'm just about doing it now.
Yeah. And what about the kids? Are you concerned that bringing them here might make them think it's okay to do it when they're out, you know, just for a walk on the cliffs?
No, they already understand the issues with tombstoning.
Very, very dangerous. If you're peer pressured into doing things you don't want to.
The instructors say that far from encouraging tombstoning, an organised session like this will deter people from doing it unsupervised. Before every outing, they check in with the Coast Guard and they claim intimate knowledge of the local shores.
We come down here each spring at low water. We go down and we map out what's in these gullies. We have a look at it. If there's been a storm, we'll come back down again and we'll make sure that nothing's moved.
So we'll start off as we did.
After a final safety briefing, the group moves on to the highest platforms of the day. Paul, this does look very high.
Yes, it's absolutely about the limit we would take anybody off.
And this is what people would regard as tombstoning?
Yes, tombstoning, but if they're doing a tombstoning, which we would not condone in any shape or form, usually they haven't checked out the height of the jump they're jumping from, or the conditions, or the sea, or the current, or the depth of water they're jumping into.
Stepping up to make the leap is harder than you might think. But afterwards you're rewarded with a huge adrenaline rush as you realise you're still in one piece. This is why people go tombstoning, but some of the group admit that doing it under supervision has put them right off doing it on their own. Now everybody here's towing the line and say, oh no, I'd never do that, but be honest, would you?
I've seen it done, and I've seen what can happen, and I'm not particularly up for it. I think that the way we're doing it here, where you know it's safe and you know you can have a great time doing it, it's better way of doing it.
How about you?
I've seen people doing it as well myself and just step back and just, nah, not for me.
Well, that was a really interesting taste of the experience, but I've got to say that even in these very controlled circumstances, it still felt like a real challenge. And the thought of jumping off somewhere like that, when you don't know what you're doing, and landing somewhere like that, it just makes your blood run cold. You don't want to do it. This is Damien Oneil for BBC Look North on the coast in Northumberland.